Welcome to This Week at Draft. We're doing this because we're committed to transparency, and I wanted a way to build this company in public. It just makes sense to do that in this sort of vlog podcast format. And so that's why we created this show, episode, podcast, video thing. Draft is an advertising execution company. We have a proprietary tech stack that allows us to plan and execute paid media campaigns across a variety of verticals. We typically work behind the scenes of other media companies, agencies, and fractional CMOs. Our company is built on 7 different divisions: Draft Outdoor, which boasts the largest network of outdoor advertising; Draft Broadcast, offering traditional media buying services; Draft Digital, which is all things new media; Draft Ad Tech, where we're actually building and shaping the future of advertising; Draft Creative, providing full service creative offerings; Draft Direct, focusing on direct mail; and Draft Promotions, which specializes in branded physical products. Last week, I talked about radical empathy and the importance of that, both in shaping the business and how you interact with both internal and external folks. Today, I'm going to discuss what I call the employee success formula. Basically, how do you get a team to perform? More specifically, and frankly, more importantly, how do you help an individual reach their maximum potential? That's what I'll be diving into today. On a personal note, I've been doing the founder thing, right? Pulling all-nighters at least once a week for really the past 3.5 years or so, working 17-plus-hour days. And recently, the grind is actually, I realized that this grind is actually hurting Draft as a company. I've hired people who are much better at their roles than I could ever hope to be. And that's why today's topic is particularly close to my heart. I'm not good at delegating. I'm not good at giving things to other folks to do. And it doesn't come from a place of control. I don't, or at least I don't think so. Because I know that the folks we've got in place are way better than I am. It really comes more from I don't know, the same reason I've just always had this sort of mentality of, if something needs done, I'm going to do it. I want to make sure that I'm working the hardest, pushing the hardest, all of those things. But sometimes that can be a detriment to the company. As for major accomplishments and goals, we slipped in pacing. We're currently at 88% of our quarterly target, which we were at 97 or so percent last week. So that means we've slipped a bit week over week. We're still ahead compared to last quarter, but we need a big push this week to get back on track. Our main obstacle, as it has been for a while, is time management. We're a small team, so scaling is always our primary challenge. The main lesson I've learned from this past week, as I already touched on, is that I'm helping no one by not delegating more tasks. By not doing so, I'm actually hurting the company, my family, myself. Going into our goals, as I've already mentioned, our wildly important goal, or WIG, from our 40X framework that we use, is to achieve 10% revenue growth this quarter over last quarter. The core project we're working on this week is enhancing our internal training. This will allow me to delegate more tasks to my already super capable team, ensuring that they have the tools to perform at their best. And that actually is the perfect segue. That leads perfectly into the main content of the episode, my employee performance algorithm. I believe employee performance is a mathematical formula. It's the second one from the bottom there, but it is essentially ability times desire. So think of that in parentheses: ability times desire, and then plus expectations times tools. If someone is, so ability times desire plus expectations times tools. Ability and desire, of course, from within the person; expectations and tools from outside of the person. Although all 4 of those can be changed and tweaked to get the optimal performance. If someone isn't performing well, you can either increase their ability through training. You can boost their desire through things like incentives, or understanding what truly motivates them. Sometimes it's money, sometimes it's not. You can also assess whether You've given clear expectations. Have you clearly stated, hey, these things need to be done by this time frame, etc. And you need to assess or ask whether or not they have the proper tools to perform the task. With the right diagnosis and fix, I believe firmly that any person can excel at any job. I know the saying in business is often be slow to hire and quick to fire, but I personally believe that is bullshit. To use to be perfectly frank, I don't believe that in any way, shape, or form. If someone wants a job, if someone wants the job, they already have desire. That's one of the only four things they need. And again, of course, if you're hiring an engineer or an architect or a doctor, there are certain things under ability that can't come from within the company, right? You can't. You do have to. I have to lean on my accountants to know accounting before I can give them accounting work, and those types of things. I need to expect my lawyer to understand the law far more than internal training could ever provide. But for most jobs, they can be trained, and providing the person with that ability. So if they want the job, they've already got desire, you can train them and give them the ability. And then from there, it's all about ensuring your internal systems offer the right expectations and tools. So before jumping straight to firing someone, if someone's not performing, identify which piece of the formula is missing. And sometimes you'll find that maybe improving that metric, maybe this person's abilities are too far off. It's cheaper to and better for them to replace rather than try to fix that. But that's pretty rare. Usually, I think it's much more efficient to enhance someone's ability, desire, or tools than it is to find a completely new person. And 9 times out of 10, it's expectations. I mean, usually it's just clear expectations were never set. But if clear expectations are there, then they either don't have the ability to do it, they don't have the desire to do it, or they don't have the tools to do it. And so it's just finding out which one of those is it. Is it the ability? Well, then let's talk through that. Let's train that. Let's fix that. Is it the desire? Well, then, what's going on in that person's life? Maybe they're not money motivated and you've been assuming they are money motivated. Maybe they're, time motivated. And so it's like, hey, do these tasks and then you can go home for the day or whatever. There's the different tools that can be used in the desire stage. And then, of course, if something's just taking them too long and there's a piece of software out there that you can get them that makes it faster, get them that piece of software, make their lives easier. That's almost always better than finding a completely new person. If you have any thoughts, feedback, suggestions, please email us at info@draftmediapartners.com. To recap, we discussed our company overview, the challenges, wins, and my employee performance algorithm. And I hope that serves you well as you go accomplish amazing things this week. Thank you for watching this or listening to, however you consume this week at Draft. See you next week.